My brother stood up at Christmas dinner, clinked his glass, and announced he was leaving his wife for his soulmate, and I watched my sister-in-law's face crumble as I realized the woman who'd been sitting next to me all evening, introduced as his colleague, was the one he'd been sleeping with. I'm 28 years old, and I just lived through the most uncomfortable Christmas of my entire life, one that ended with me walking out of my parents' house and not looking back. Let me set the scene because context matters. My family is small. Just me, my older brother Nathan, and our parents. We've always been close, or I thought we were. Sunday dinners, holiday traditions, group chats full of memes. Nathan is 33, married to his high school sweetheart Jessica for 9 years, with 2 kids, Emma who's 7 and Lucas who's 5. Jessica is wonderful. Sweet, funny, the kind of sister-in-law who remembers your birthday and texts you funny articles she thinks you'd like. She's been part of our family since she and Nathan started dating at 16. I can't remember a time when Jessica wasn't around. They seemed happy. Not perfect, no marriages, but solid. They bickered sometimes about normal stuff like whose turn it was to do dishes or where to go on vacation, but nothing serious. They laughed together. They parented together. They were them. About 6 months ago, Nathan started mentioning someone from work. Vanessa thinks this. Vanessa suggested that. Vanessa and I grabbed lunch to discuss the Peterson account. Vanessa was his new colleague, a consultant brought in for some big project. Nathan worked in marketing for a mid-sized firm, and apparently Vanessa was some hotshot they'd hired to shake things up. Jessica mentioned it once at a family dinner. Nathan talks about Vanessa constantly. I'm starting to think he has a work wife. She laughed when she said it. Nathan laughed too. She's just really good at her job. We collaborate a lot. I thought nothing of it. Over the next few months, Nathan was different, more distracted, on his phone constantly, working late more often. When I mentioned it to my mom, she brushed it off. He's working on a big project. He's stressed. 2 weeks before Christmas, Nathan called me. Hey, so, I'm bringing someone to Christmas dinner. Jessica and the kids? Obviously. No, I mean yes them too, but also Vanessa. From work. I paused. You're bringing your coworker to family Christmas? She doesn't have family nearby. I felt bad leaving her alone for the holidays. That's nice of you, I guess. Does Jessica know? Yeah, she's fine with it. Something felt off, but I didn't push. Maybe Jessica really was fine with it. Maybe I was reading too much into things. Christmas Day arrived. I showed up at my parents' house around 3. Dinner was at 5, but we always gathered early for drinks and appetizers. Jessica was already there with the kids, helping Mom in the kitchen. She looked tired. Hey. I hugged her. How are you? Good. Busy. You know how the holidays are with kids. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Nathan arrived 20 minutes later, with Vanessa. She was not what I expected. I'd pictured someone older, more corporate. But Vanessa was probably 26, wearing a red dress that was just a touch too tight, too low-cut for a family Christmas. She had perfect makeup, perfect hair, and a smile that seemed practiced. Everyone, this is Vanessa? Nathan said, guiding her in with a hand on her lower back. A hand on her lower back. At his family Christmas, with his wife standing right there. So nice to meet you all. Vanessa said brightly. Nathan's told me so much about you. My mom, ever the gracious host, welcomed her warmly. My dad shook her hand. Jessica smiled politely and went back to the kitchen. I watched Nathan watch Vanessa. The way his eyes followed her. The way he positioned himself near her. The way he laughed too loud at things she said. And I watched Jessica watch Nathan watch Vanessa. Her expression was carefully blank. We sat down for dinner. The seating arrangement was awkward. My mom had clearly tried to be polite, placing Vanessa between me and my dad, with Nathan across from her. Jessica was at the far end of the table, helping the kids with their plates. Vanessa was chatty. Too chatty. She dominated conversation, telling stories about work, about her travels, about her life. Every story somehow centered back to her and Nathan. Nathan and I were just laughing about this the other day. Nathan and I had the best idea for the campaign. Nathan took me to this amazing lunch spot. I glanced at Jessica. She was cutting Lucas's turkey into small pieces, not looking up. Nathan was beaming, engaged, more animated than I'd seen him in months. My mom kept trying to redirect conversation to other topics, the kids' school, my job, holiday plans, but Vanessa always steered it back. Then came dessert. My mom brought out her famous apple pie. We were all eating, chatting quietly, when Nathan stood up. "I want to say something," he announced. Everyone looked up. "I want to thank everyone for being here. Family is so important, and I'm grateful we can all be together." Standard stuff. I relaxed slightly. "And I want to share some news," he continued. "Something I've been trying to figure out how to say for a while now." Jessica's fork stopped halfway to her mouth. "I've realized something important this year. About what I want. About what makes me happy. About what love should feel like." Oh no. Jessica and I have been together since we were kids. We built a life together. We have amazing children together. But Jessica stood up. "Nathan, don't. I need to say this. Not here. Not now. Not like this." "When then?" "We've been avoiding this conversation for months." My mom looked between them, confused. "What's going on?" Nathan took a breath. "Jessica and I are separating. I'm moving out after the new year." Silence. Emma looked up from her plate. "Daddy? What does separating mean?" "I'm in love with someone else," Nathan continued, ignoring his daughter. "Someone who makes me feel alive again. Someone who gets me." He looked at Vanessa. Vanessa looked back at him. And we all realized at the same time, she wasn't just his colleague. She was his mistress. And he'd brought her to Christmas dinner. Jessica's face crumbled. She covered her mouth with her hand, tears spilling over. "You brought her here?" Jessica's voice was barely above a whisper. "To Christmas? With your children? I wanted everyone to meet." "You wanted everyone to meet your mistress at Christmas dinner?" Emma started crying. Lucas looked scared. My mom stood frozen, pie server still in her hand. I looked at Vanessa. She was sitting there, right next to me, looking uncomfortable but not surprised. Not shocked. She'd known this was coming. They'd planned this. "This is my soulmate," Nathan said, gesturing to Vanessa. "I'm sorry it happened this way, but I can't live a lie anymore." "You're living a lie right now," Jessica shouted. "You've been living a lie for months. Bringing her to our house, to family events, pretending she was just a colleague while you were sleeping with her." "It's not like that." "How long?" Jessica demanded. "How long have you been fucking her?" Jessica, the kids. "How long?" Silence. Then, 6 months. 6 months. The entire time, he'd been mentioning Vanessa. From the very beginning. "I sat next to her," Jessica said, her voice breaking. "I smiled at her. I poured her wine. I welcomed her into our family Christmas. And the whole time, she was the woman you were cheating on me with." I stood up. "Where are you going?" Nathan asked. "I'm leaving." "We're in the middle of." "In the middle of what?" "You humiliating your wife. Traumatizing your kids? Destroying Christmas?" "Yeah, I'm not staying for this." "You're being dramatic." "I'm being dramatic?" "You just announced your affair at Christmas dinner with your mistress sitting at the table. Your children are here. What is wrong with you?" I needed to be honest. "You needed to do this privately. With a therapist. With some fucking tact. Not as a grand announcement, with your affair partner present." My dad finally spoke up. "Nathan, this is inappropriate. You need to." "I need to what, Dad? Pretend I'm happy? Stay in a marriage that's been dead for years." "Your marriage wasn't dead," I said. "You killed it. Because you were too selfish to work on it." "You don't understand." "I understand perfectly. You got bored. You met someone younger and more exciting. And instead of talking to your wife, instead of going to counseling, instead of doing literally anything an adult would do, you had an affair. And then, you decided to announce it at Christmas with your kids present." I grabbed my coat. "If you walk out that door, you're choosing her side," Nathan said. "There are no sides here. There's just you being cruel. And I'm choosing not to watch it. I looked at Jessica. I'm so sorry.
Call me if you need anything.
She nodded, tears streaming down her face, holding both kids who were now crying. I looked at Vanessa. You knew he was married. You knew he had kids. And you sat here anyway, watching his wife smile at you, knowing you were sleeping with her husband. That's vile. She opened her mouth to respond.
Don't, I said.
I don't want to hear it. I looked at my parents. I'll talk to you later. Away from this disaster.
And I left.
I drove to my apartment and sat in my car for 20 minutes, shaking. Then my phone exploded. Text from Nathan. You made this worse. Thanks a lot. Text from Mom. Please come back. We need to discuss this as a family. Text from Jessica. Thank you for leaving. I'm taking the kids to my parents. Merry fucking Christmas. I called Jessica. I'm so sorry, I said when she answered. I had no idea. If I'd known. I knew, she said quietly. I've known for months. I saw messages. I confronted him. He denied everything. Said they were just friends.
Colleagues.
That I was being paranoid and insecure. He gaslit you. For months. And I started believing him. Started thinking I was crazy. Then tonight, he brings her to Christmas and announces to everyone that he's in love with her. Like I'm just supposed to sit there and take it. What are you going to do? Divorce him. Take everything. Make sure he pays for what he did to our kids.
Good.
Your parents are mad at you for leaving. I don't care. Nathan's saying you ruined Christmas. I laughed bitterly. I ruined Christmas? I didn't bring my mistress to family dinner. Jessica was quiet. Then, thank you. For walking out. For standing up for me. No one else did. That hit me. What? Your parents. They just sat there. Your dad told Nathan he was disappointed, but that we'd work through this as a family. Your mom asked if maybe we should all calm down and discuss this rationally. They didn't defend you? They're in shock, I think. Or they're trying to keep the peace.
But no.
They didn't defend me. You were the only one who walked out. After we hung up, I called my mom. You need to come back, she said immediately. We're trying to have a family discussion. No. What?
No.
I'm not coming back. Nathan ambushed Jessica at Christmas with his mistress present. He traumatized his kids. He humiliated his wife. And I'm not sitting there pretending that's okay. He's still your brother. And Jessica is still part of this family. Or she was, until Nathan decided to blow everything up. Are you defending him? I'm not defending anyone. I'm trying to keep this family together. The family is already broken, Mom. Nathan broke it when he cheated. He shattered it when he announced his affair at Christmas dinner. You can't keep it together by pretending this is normal. What do you want me to do? Disown my son? I want you to acknowledge that what he did was cruel. That bringing Vanessa here was wrong. That Jessica and those kids deserved better. Silence. Mom, it's complicated. It's not complicated. He cheated.
He lied.
He flaunted his mistress in front of his wife at a family holiday. That's not complicated. That's just wrong. He says he's in love. I don't care. You don't humiliate your spouse like that. You don't traumatize your children like that. If he wanted a divorce, fine. But this was cruel on purpose. My mom sighed. I don't want to lose you both. Then stop acting like Nathan's behavior is acceptable. Stop trying to keep the peace at Jessica's expense. Stop prioritizing your son's feelings over basic human decency. I hung up. Over the next few days, the family group chat was a disaster. Nathan posted long messages about following his heart and living authentically. My dad sent messages about family forgiveness and not judging. My mom tried to organize a family meeting to work through this. I left the group chat. Jessica filed for divorce 3 days after Christmas. Nathan moved out immediately, into Vanessa's apartment, apparently. My parents were disappointed but still trying to support everyone. They invited both Nathan and Jessica to New Year's dinner. Separately, my mom clarified. We'll have Nathan and Vanessa at 4, then Jessica and the kids at 6. So no one has to see each other. You're inviting Vanessa? I asked. She's part of Nathan's life now. We need to accept that. No, you don't. You can set boundaries. You can tell Nathan that the woman he cheated with isn't welcome at family events. That's not fair to Nathan. What about what's fair to Jessica? To Emma and Lucas? You're going to make them come to a house where Vanessa was just hours before. It's the best solution. It's not a solution. It's you enabling Nathan's behavior. I'm trying to maintain relationships with everyone. You're trying to avoid confrontation. And in doing so, you're telling Nathan his actions have no consequences. You're telling Jessica she doesn't matter. And you're teaching Emma and Lucas that cheating is acceptable as long as you're in love. That's not what I'm doing. It's exactly what you're doing. I didn't go to New Year's dinner. Neither version of it. Nathan called me January 2nd. You're being childish, he said. Punishing me because I'm finally happy. I'm not punishing you. I'm refusing to pretend what you did was okay. I fell in love. That's not a crime. You cheated on your wife for 6 months, lied about it, gaslit her when she questioned you, and then announced your affair at Christmas dinner with your mistress present and your children at the table. That's not falling in love. That's being cruel. Vanessa and I couldn't help our feelings. You could help your actions. You could have gotten divorced before starting a relationship with someone else. You could have not brought your mistress to family Christmas. You could have not destroyed your children's holiday. They'll be fine. Kids are resilient. Emma asked me if Daddy doesn't love her anymore. Lucas wakes up crying every night. But sure, they're fine. Silence. You did this, Nathan. You chose this. You chose your dick over your family. And now you get to live with the consequences. Vanessa is my soulmate. Vanessa is the woman who slept with a married man and then sat at Christmas dinner smiling at his wife. If that's your soulmate, you deserve each other. He hung up. That was 3 weeks ago. Jessica's divorce is moving forward. She's getting primary custody. Nathan will have supervised visitation initially. The kids are traumatized and need time to adjust. He's paying child support and alimony. My parents are still trying to maintain relationships with everyone. They see Nathan and Vanessa regularly. They see Jessica and the kids regularly. They keep trying to get me to come around. I won't. I talk to Jessica regularly. I FaceTime with Emma and Lucas. I send them care packages. I'm there for them. But I don't talk to Nathan. I don't talk to my parents about anything substantial. I'm civil but distant. Because here's what I learned. Some actions are unforgivable. And pretending they're not, for the sake of family unity, just enables more bad behavior. Nathan didn't just cheat. He humiliated his wife publicly at a family holiday with his children present. He brought his mistress to Christmas and expected everyone to smile and accept it. That's not a mistake. That's cruelty. And I'm not going to pretend it's okay just because he's my brother. Last week, my mom called. Nathan wants to apologize to you. For what? For how things happened. For the timing. For upsetting you. Not for cheating? Not for traumatizing his kids? Not for humiliating Jessica? Just for upsetting me. He's trying. He's trying to get everyone to move on so he doesn't have to feel guilty. That's not the same as being sorry. When will you forgive him? When he deserves it. When he shows real remorse. When he takes accountability for destroying his family. When he puts his children's needs above his own comfort. That could take years. Then it takes years. I don't know if Nathan and Vanessa will last. I honestly don't care. I hope for Emma and Lucas's sake that their dad figures out how to be a decent father, but I'm not holding my breath. What I do know, I was right to walk out of Christmas dinner. I was right to refuse to play along. I was right to stand with Jessica instead of pretending Nathan's actions were acceptable. Because family loyalty doesn't mean accepting abuse. It doesn't mean sitting silently while someone you love is humiliated. It doesn't mean smiling at your brother's mistress while his wife falls apart. My brother announced his affair at Christmas dinner. His mistress was sitting next to me, and I walked out. Not because I'm dramatic, Not because I'm punishing him, but because I have standards. And those standards don't include participating in someone else's cruelty. Even if that someone is my brother. Especially if that someone is my brother. Because family isn't about blood. It's about how you treat people. And Nathan failed that test spectacularly. So Merry fucking Christmas to him and Vanessa. I'll be spending next Christmas with Jessica and the kids. Building new traditions. Without the brother who thought bringing his mistress to family dinner was an acceptable way to announce his betrayal. He wanted honesty? Here's my honest truth. He's not the person I thought he was. And I don't want that person in my life. Christmas dinner made that perfectly clear.